Welcome back to T. Shaw's Progressive Bluegrass. It is so great to be back here talking about bluegrass again. It's been a little bit. July, mid-July was my last episode. So my apologies for the delays. There's been a lot of life-changing circumstances that have taken place since I was here last. And I've been really busy going to a lot of live music as well and just haven't had time to sit down and make it happen. But my number one project, as many of you know, I'm a mortgage loan officer, and I have a commercial at the end of my podcasts. But I had envisions of a bluegrass commercial specifically, a bluegrass music bed and a jingle from before I even recorded my first episode. I'm so lucky that one of my absolute favorite musicians, Randy Steele, and specifically Randy Steele and the High Cold Wind. Randy Steele does plenty of solo stuff as well. But I had mentioned to him about doing this before, just launching the podcasts last fall, and said, hey, would you do me a commercial if I write a commercial? And he said, yeah, sure, no problem. Well, we never really got it together during the recording of season 1, and I didn't want to hold up the podcast waiting to get studio time and get it written and get the band together to help me do it. So that was my big priority in my off season, was getting this done. So I'm going to start with just playing it. Now, I actually wrote the jingle and ended up, we all went to the studio together so I could sing it. And I'm not going to sing it quite yet. Maybe one day. It's catchy. I hope you'll sing it too. But it took me a while to get it down. So I did that for a while and was sending emails back and forth to Randy, and he would kind of work it up and send me stuff back, and none of it was quite right, not what I had envisioned. So finally I'm like, hey, let's just exchange compensation and make this happen. So we got together and we went to the studio and had some technical difficulties. It was my first time. Now, it was a home studio. It wasn't like a professional studio, but it has all the same equipment and gear. And John Bullwetter is actually the producer for this project. And so, first time me being in a studio as a recording was taking place. I learned a lot, and I asked probably way too many questions. I'm sure I was annoying as hell, asking John, all right, now what's this, and what's this button do, and what's that, and, stay in my lane. I get it. But all I'm really getting at is we had a bunch of challenges getting everything set up and ready, so the time to actually record the commercial was pretty limited. We basically did a handful of run-throughs, practice run-throughs, getting it down, and then kind of backs against the wall with the clock ticking. We're like, well, all right, let's do it, and they ran through, and it just goes to show some of the talent and ability Randy Steele and the High Cold Wind has, that they could essentially write the music bed to this, run through it a handful of times, and completely nail it. So, okay, I'm going to shut up and play it. Here we go.
1, 2. It's a big purchase, it's a big deal. Trevor Shaw knows exactly how you feel for refinance or a new home. Trevor Shaw will help you get your loan. Trevor Shaw will help you get your loan.
Hello, I'm Trevor Shaw. I'm not just a bluegrass aficionado. I'm a bluegrass aficionado that's a mortgage loan officer at Chat Mortgage in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I'd be honored for the opportunity to help you get your residential mortgage loan or refinance anywhere in Tennessee and Georgia. From veterans using their hard-earned benefits to first-time home buyers needing down payment assistance to retirees finally getting the home they've always dreamed of. Call or text me today at 864-50-T-SHAW. That's 864-50-T-SHAW.
It's a big purchase, it's a big deal. Trevor Shaw knows exactly how you feel for refinance or a new home. Trevor Shaw will help you get your loan. Trevor Shaw will help you get your loan.
Chat Mortgage is powered by Almeida Mortgage Corporation, NMLS number 271603. Chat Mortgage is located at 6650 East Brainerd Road, Suite 208 in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Phone number 423-591-9801. Trevor Shaw, NMLS number 929381. Well, that was fun. Were you singing it? Were you singing the jingle the second time through? I hope you were singing the jingle, because that means it's working. I could clean it up at some point. I'm there's a whole bunch of legal mumbo jumbo at the end. I might recut that or redo it as the season evolves. If I get some time, I'll jump on it. I was just excited to finally get it out there and get going because that was kind of almost the genesis of the whole thing. And finally, okay, I've been doing this, better part of a year. Yay. But this weekend, Billy Strings is playing in Huntsville, and it'll be the second time this year that I go to the same city that Billy is playing and not going to go see Billy. But Randy Steele and the High Cold Wind is doing an after party after Billy at Huntsville this Friday. So it's going to be a late start, probably a 10:30 start in Central Time, and I'm in Eastern Time, so it's going to be a late night, but it's going to be so worth it. And I really hope we get a lot of the Billy crowd spill in after the show. They're going to have an amazing time if they do. Randy Steele and the High Cold Wind, seeing them in front of 50, 60 people is a treat that you really don't want to miss because there's going to be, just like Billy, you look back, I wish we could do that again. That was so fun. And to make it even cooler, it's in a relatively new music venue in Huntsville, St. Stephen's Music Hall. And I went there, it was probably brand new, which is a technical term. It's actually built in an old school, probably like a high school. And lots of different stages and lots of different bands were all taking place at the same time. And I didn't know it right away when we went in because I guess we came into a converted classroom, into a small stage and a bar. And until I went to use the restroom, I didn't realize I was in a school because we had an outside entrance into this room, and there was a cover for that band, so there might be covers for all the bands. But then I walk out into the hallway and go to the restrooms. When I'm in the restroom, must be next door to the gymnasium, and they had a full-blown rock concert going, coming through the walls into the bathroom, just down the hallway. And then on the way back, there was another maybe auditorium, maybe another classroom converted, another band going on. So there was at least 3 bands taking place at this venue all at the same time. It was almost like a music festival, but it's a bar or a music venue. So St. Stephen's Music Hall in Huntsville. Really, really neat place. That's where they're going to be playing this Friday night. Stoked. And I didn't even know Huntsville was big enough to support a venue like this. So, if you see a band, there's a lot of hotels nearby too. And I'm certain Airbnbs if you're into that sort of thing. Keep an eye on this venue. If there's a band that you enjoy playing there, it's worth going to check out. Making an overnight trip if you need to. A lot of fun. Now, I've spoken to Randy and the whole band, really, about coming on the podcast, and I'm certain I'm going to have them on here at some point. But I'll tell you real quick. I'll introduce them real quick, and then I'll shut up. Randy Steele primarily plays banjo and has amazing songwriting capabilities. He does the vocals. He's the lead singer. It's his band, Randy Steele and the High Cold Wind. Awesome. John Boulware is on mandolin, but prior to High Cold Wind, I knew John for years as a fiddle player. He's also the author of The Stinger, which is the instrumental I use as my intro bumper music. He wrote that, and Slim Pickens played it, which is where I met both Randy and John. Way back in 2009, Slim Pickens opened for another up-and-coming band at the time, the infamous String Dusters, a little hole-in-the-wall venue in Chattanooga that's no more called Rhythm and Brews. Just an amazing little memory of a venue. Love it and miss it. But yeah, they were the opening band. There couldn't have been more than 50, 60 people in the audience that night. Wild. But anyway, I digress. John Boulware is a multi-champion on both mandolin and fiddle, so the guy's got amazing chops. And I also need to mention that Randy Steele has a lot of great solo stuff too, and he spells his last name Steele with an E at the end. Randy Steele and the High Cold Wind. Check out their EP. I'm going to have a lot of their videos in the footnotes too, but I'm getting sidetracked again. I apologize. Justin Hupp is their bass player. throws down the beats on the bass, and Tyler Martelli on guitar. And Tyler Martelli is not only an amazing guitar player, but he plays in more bands than there are days of the week. It's not just bluegrass bands. He is a multi-talented musician, plays multiple instruments as well. Rock, alternative rock, traditional bluegrass, progressive bluegrass, genres I'm not even sure how to describe. He's got a little bit of everything. At some point, I'm going to have them on, probably sooner than later, just like recording the commercial. I got to get it scheduled. Keep talking casually. Oh, before the show, after the show. Nah. There's too much going on. So we're going to get that on the calendar sometime this season as well. All right. So what else have I been up to? I went to Frankfurt Bluegrass Festival back in July. Only made it for one day. My father turned 84 on July 14th, and the festival was July 13th and 14th. So I decided to spend the 13th at the festival. I've heard plenty about Frankfurt Bluegrass Fest. Every band that I follow or enjoy has played there, it seems like. It's Chicago suburb, real nice town. I'm not as big as a fan of urban festivals because you just don't have camp. And I also enjoy having a few beers. And, you know, if you have to drive, or you know, maybe you can get a hotel, but you don't have camp. My refuge, my home base. And I still enjoy it, and it's free, so no complaints. Great festival for the money. It's just awesome. But it was a really, really, really hot day. Whoo, was it hot. Hot. But two bands I got to see for the first time. Chicken Wire Empire. And Chicken Wire Empire I have known for several years and just never had a chance to check them out. So I was listening to them for a lot on the way up to Chicago, just through Apple Music studio stuff. And I really enjoyed their studio stuff. I was really looking forward to their show. Turned out the show was great. Got to see them twice, actually. Once on the main stage, but I was in direct sun and was miserable and dying. At least it felt that way. And then once in the beer garden stage, which was shaded. And it's where I wanted to be. Oh, yeah, they had beer there as well. I was really impressed with Chicken Wire Empire. I mean, they have an amazing name. But also going to share a couple YouTube links from that show specifically. They did a really, really, really good version of If You're Ever in Oklahoma. Best version I've seen since Jeff Austin and Yonder Mountain. So that was really, really good. Really enjoyed them. And they actually frequently hit the Southeast, so I'm going to be able to see them again more frequently. But the other band I discovered, I'm in a record club, Heady Fiends, a vinyl record group on Facebook. Chris Howland kind of started it. It's his brainchild out of Denver, and it's really blown up. He's doing some amazing things. Not only is having people come together and learn new music that they wouldn't otherwise discover, but he's actually gotten several bands to release albums through him. He's created a label almost. His record club's turned into a label. And he's also dug up some classic vintage bluegrass, including Tony Rice Manzanita, and getting it re-released on vinyl. He's doing the Lord's work. Now, his record club, all genres are created equal. You're not allowed to badmouth anybody's music, anybody's vinyl selection. Doesn't matter who it is, no badmouthing is allowed. All art is respected. And now there's a large bluegrass group on there because it kind of started, I would say the initial core, everybody had met through the Billy Strings fan base, but it quickly expanded because he didn't want it to be just Billy Strings or just bluegrass. He wanted all genres welcomed. He's come up with something really cool. So Heady Fiends, make sure to check it out. I'm going to have him on here. We'll talk bluegrass vinyl specifically. I mean, he's just doing some amazing things. All this is to say, I discovered a band through Heady Fiends. It's based out, I believe it's Denver. It's certainly Colorado. The Fretliners. And the Fretliners played at Frankfurt Folk Festival too. And I was so grateful that I got to see them on the beer garden stage. And they had a second set later in the day that I was also really excited to see that got rained out. Even though it was beautiful by the time their scheduled start time began, we had that stupid rule. If you hear thunder within 15 minutes, you can't start for 15 minutes without the sound of thunder. Well, the storm had blown through. Let's have some music. Come on. Common sense, people. It's sunny at this point. But whatever, you could still hear thunder way off in the distance. But anyway, listening to the Fretliners also in the car, listening to their newest album on the way up. Self-titled album, recently came out, and it's also co-released by Heady Fiends. I'm not totally sure how that works, but it's available on HeadyWaxFiends.com, or at least it was. And I can say it was the first band I discovered due to Heady Fiends. But as of now, it's in my running for Bluegrass album, T. Shaw's Bluegrass Album of the Year. Not going to make the decision yet. It's only October. There's still time to go. In the running is also Kyle Tuttle's Labor of Lust. Heady Fiends also co-released or exclusively released Kyle Tuttle's Labor of Lust on vinyl. So check out Heady Fiends. But check out the Fretliners. Oh my gosh. Purple Flowers gives me goosebumps, at least the studio version. That may be one song that's better in the studio. You can hit the high notes, get it right, get it perfect every time. But that absolutely, Purple Flowers absolutely gives me goosebumps. Amazing song. But the whole album, fantastic. One of the few studio albums I can listen to on repeat. But in addition to an amazing studio album, when I saw them play at Frankfurt Folk Festival, they are fantastic entertainers. They've got the look. They've got the dance moves. I don't know if I can say dance moves when it comes to bluegrass. That sounds a little silly. But they're a lot of fun. They're definitely going places. If you haven't checked them out, highly recommend you do so, especially now because they're going to get pretty big. So let's see. What else is going on since we've last spoken? Oh, my gosh. I can't believe I haven't mentioned this yet. This should have been right out of the gate, my opening comment. The IBMA, International Bluegrass Music Association, is moving its wide open Bluegrass Festival, trade show, and awards to Chattanooga. So starting in September 2025, IBMA is going to be right here in Chattanooga. I can't even begin to tell you how exciting this is. Even though I live in Chattanooga, I will absolutely be staying downtown in a hotel, being part of the party. There's going to be some awesome interviews, I'm certain, some special features. We're going to do an entire episode, if not more, covering that. And when they made the announcement, actually going back to Randy Steele and the High Cold Wind, they were the house band for the day, the party, the welcoming ceremony. And they were joined by Sam Bush. Some of you may know who that is. Just a really, really exciting time for Chattanooga, myself, and the world of bluegrass. On top of all that, I've got a lot of interviews lined up for this upcoming season. I don't want to drop any names yet until it actually happens because good intentions don't make good interviews. But we got some sound techs, we got management, we got musicians, we got songwriters, we got a little bit of everybody represented coming up in the bluegrass realm. It's going to be a lot of fun. Really looking forward to sharing it with you. I'm going to have some really good videos shared in the liner notes today. Certainly some Randy Steele and High Cold Wind. I'm going to pick out a couple winners. May wait till after their performance Friday night. Who knows? Maybe there'll be a special guest. I do have a couple with Sam Bush included, so that's going to make the cut. Definitely going to share a video or two of Chicken Wire Empire from the Frankfurt Folk Festival. In addition, I'll be sharing some Fretliners from the Frankfurt Folk Festival as well. So make sure to check those out. Thank you so much for tuning in again to T. Shaw's Progressive Bluegrass. I'm T. Shaw. And now, I've been waiting to say this, a word from our sponsor.
1, 2. It's a big purchase, it's a big deal. Trevor Shaw knows exactly how you feel for refinance or a new home. Trevor Shaw will help you get your loan. Trevor Shaw will help you get your loan.
Hello, I'm Trevor Shaw. I'm not just a bluegrass aficionado. I'm a bluegrass aficionado that's a mortgage loan officer at Chat Mortgage in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I'd be honored for the opportunity to help you get your residential mortgage loan or refinance anywhere in Tennessee and Georgia. From veterans using their hard-earned benefits to first-time home buyers needing down payment assistance to retirees finally getting the home they've always dreamed of. Call or text me today at 864-50-TSHAW. That's 864-50-TSHAW.
It's a big purchase, it's a big deal. Trevor Shaw knows exactly how you feel for refinance or a new home. Trevor Shaw will help you get your loan. Trevor Shaw will help you get your loan.
Chat Mortgage is powered by Alameda Mortgage Corporation, NMLS number 271603. Chat Mortgage is located at 6650 East Brainerd Road, Suite 208 in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Phone number 423-591-9801. Trevor Shaw, NMLS number 12938.